Hello, my name is Afsaneh Cooper. We have today 3 learners called Elton, Reza and Rosemary that they are going to learn the outcomes of this training. The outcomes of this training is to learn about the Revolve, revolving a 2D object that you can see it here. This 2D object is half of a flange with a center line in the middle. I have not drawn a proper half of the flange because it makes it difficult in rotating 360 degrees about that center line that is drawn by red color. And also after the revolve, I'm going to teach you about the 3D primitive objects such as cone and box and prism. Then I'm going to teach you as we go about the tools, toolbars, palettes and menus, and they are features of the TurboCAD. Makes it easy for the learners because some of them are being confused, they don't know how do they act, and the user guide of this software is not as good as the basic training that I have gained it. Okay, so I'm showing you the 2D object that is a flange. We want to revolve it, and this is a section view, but I didn't put the hatches because I'm going to revolve this one. First of all, I'm going to go to the modify and go to the end called join polyline, and then look at the status bar. This base of the screen is the base of the screen is the base of the screen is written status bar, and this status bar tells you select the first entity for joining. So therefore I'm going to click on this line that is here, and it turns red. Turn this one, turn this fillet, this line, this fillet, this arc, and this one, this fillet here, the line, and this one, clicking. So all the things are clicked, and it says select the next entity for join. There is no next entity. There is a flag at the bottom. When you put your icon in it, your mouse on it, it says finish. Click on that one when you do the join polyline. If you don't do that, you will be facing with trouble. Then now we go to the draw 3D object and 3D profile base and revolve. Says select a 2D entity. I select this 2D entity, and you see as I clicked on it, maybe I didn't click when I did the join polyline. Maybe I should go back again to modify and see why that one is not ticked. So I say select the first entity for joining. I click on this one now, and then we select finish. It says the second one to join, this one, and the rest is all there. So we say finish. We finished it, and then we go to the draw 3D object, 3D profile base and revolve. It says select a 2D entity. When I click on this one, again this one is a polyline. It did not pick up this one, and we rotated around this. It has to be rotated. Specify the first point of the revolution axis. It says on the status bar. A status bar is a place where you get instruction, like a teacher, how to do and work with this drawing that you are doing. So you come and read the instruction. Specify the first point of the revolution axis. I click on this revolution axis on here, and then says the second point of revolution axis. So I go and click on the snap bar there. As you see, it is revolved now. So I come and choose, because I am in the world plan. In the world plan, I can only see the two-dimensional views, front view, top view, and bottom view. It's only two-dimensional. But if I go to the isometric SE view, that is these blue boxes, I click isometric southeast, then you see I can see this one is revolved, and it has a lot of hidden line in it. So to get rid of the hidden line and make it better, and also the second thing you notice that I rotated it around the x-axis. There is another way that is harder and is more difficult at this stage. I don't want to say about this one. Is to rotate it about the z-axis, and that requires rotating the axis of y, rotating it, and then change the plane of this 2D object that we revolved it. That is hard at this stage for the learners. So what I did, I just rotated it around the y-axis, and you see how the revolve works. We go to the view, a visual style, and on visual style we click on hidden line. Hidden line, if you click on it, you see most of the hidden lines are disappeared, and it looks better now. Now I click on different parts of the cube to see when I cannot do this with these two. Try to rotate it by hand. So what I do, I hold my wheel here, wheel of the mouse, and slowly rotating it. And then I hold the mouse and hold the shift and control button and shift this one in the page. You see, this is how it looks like. And then I hold the mouse and try to rotate it this way. As you see, this is a three-dimensional object, and it looks beautiful. This is how it works. And although I do not want to go deeply into the material of the object, how to do the rendering, I do not want to go deeply because I have talked about it in the past, but I will show you how this Revolve work with the materials. I just waited. I find where the icons are. Material properties. Material properties, we go to the tools here, and then we go to palettes, and then we choose the material here. This is about the material property that I do not want to go deeply into this. So we go to tools, palettes, and materials. By selecting the object structure, a material category and property can be applied to the separate components of the object. Structure and the other parts are all separate components. You can use several materials in an assembly of parts. But this is again itself is a new lesson and it cannot fit into the timetable that we have today. So I do not go further. This was the Revolve. Now after Revolve, what else can we talk about? This is that so for drawing this, first briefly summarize what we did. I draw a 2D object that was a quarter of this 3D shape, and then a front view of that quarter. I looked at it and rotated it around the center line of this object that starts from this point by using draw, 3D object, 3D profile base, and then revolve. This way, to do this, after you draw the profile that is 2D, you should surround it with a join polyline to make sure it doesn't have any gaps and everything is sealed. Now this is a very good example. We should have also a hole in the middle, but this is at this stage it is too much, and that will be showing in the future lessons that you learn basically how does the revolve includes. Now I'm going to show you the so I save this drawing, save as. So when we are saving the drawing, here in this button in the window of save as, I get history. I don't save mine in history. I go to the drawing, template, drawing, custom. We just go to drawing, and then the folder of drawing comes. Click on my drawing and then save this one, project 6, then dash revolved. Sorry, it doesn't accept it. I have to do it again. Save as project 6 dash doesn't accept anything. So it is better that I save it the same. It says project 6 revolved here. Project 6 revolve exists. So I save it on the previous one. Save. Already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes. And then a page comes, summary info, that tells you where to find this file. We just accept default, and we want to get rid of this. You click file, close. For this file, save changes? No, because I've already saved it. So what we do, I'm going to go to the open as a template. So I change this button from drawings to templates, and then in the templates I go down, choose a student 2D, open. So now this student 2D is designed by AutoCAD, a template that includes all the setup that you require to start your drawing in 2D. Now what you do, we are going to teach you about I'm going to teach you about the drawing of the 3 primitive objects. So I go first, draw 3D object, And what is the 3D? It says go to the 3D primitives. 3D primitives is a sphere, hemisphere, box, rotated box, cylinder, polygonal prism, torus, wedge, and cone. So now I choose wedge because cone, polygon, prism, a box will be taught by the learners. So I click on wedge, and says at the bottom in the inspector bar, this part that I put my mouse on it is written width, length, and height for the wedge. So first of all, we write width. For example, I want the width be 50. Right? Make sure you do not delete the millimeter. I want the length be 70, and I want the height be 40. Make sure you don't delete the millimeter. If you deleted it, you have to type it again. Now, because I don't want that these dimensions change in the inspector bar, I lock them by clicking on the yellow open locks. They turn blue. This is the inspector bar. That is what I promised to teach you about the features of the TurboCAD. This is one feature, that it is an inspector bar. Inspector bars. The inspector bars are not always showing up. The inspector bar is only showing up when the inspector bar is only showing up when you are drawing something. Now we want to draw a wedge. You will see by the status bar says you specify the first vertex of the object base. So you just click on it, and then it should go to the isometric view. First, it showed up itself in the word plane. Now, if I click on any of these word plan, you see it shows a line because see this one. If I press on this one, you see it's showing a line. Does not show itself. But if I press on the isometric view, see it is showing. See? It shows very well about the wedge. You have to see it in the isometric view because the world plan does not show it properly. So now I want to get rid of this one, so I choose the select. See? No, first of all I put escape, and then I can't select anything. It is went. As soon as I press escape, it disappeared. So what I do, I go to the draw 3D object, a 3D profile based, no 3D primitive, and I click on the sphere and see what happened. In a sphere, it says on the status bar says specify a position of the sphere center. So first I have to set up the inspector bar for radius. We get the radius 30 millimeter, and the diameter you don't have to, because diameter you know that it is twice as radius. So all we need is to put the radius 30 and then lock it. We don't need diameter, 2 dimensions. So it says the status bar says specify a position of the sphere center. You click here and the sphere is here. You see it's bigger now. This is the sphere. To get rid of the hidden lines, you go to view, a visual style, hidden lines. So now it's better now. You can paint it, you can do other things with it. We are not going to go to the detail now. Then I go and say edit, clear, and say it is edit, choose, select this one, edit, clear action. A window around it is better. Then delete. No, doesn't delete. And say select. And then delete. It doesn't delete anything. So say edit, clear. It doesn't work now. So unless we should select all. Select all is working. Press delete. So click edit, select all, and then delete. Now we got the this one was the sphere. Now I promised to talk about the features of the TurboCAD. The features of the TurboCAD is that first of all, one is hatch. When you want to do hatching, you go to the draw, and at the bottom is hatch. It says patch hatching or pick up point hatching. That is where you go from draw, you go to hatch. Then there is a design director palette. The design director palette, I will read over this for you what it is. The design director palette, you go to tools, palettes, and design director. Design director. This design director is talking about the layers. These columns is about the name of the lines that you choose it and you type it. And this is the tick that you can tick on any of those ones, but you can only put one tick in every cell, in all the cells. So if I tick model, it only shows the model lines. That is blue color. If I tick next to the CL, center lines will be active. So all the lines will be drawn red color, dash line with a 0 pen thickness. So you should draw your thicknesses. Choose it. So pen for center line, make it 0.1. But in Australian standard, there is guidelines for thicknesses of these lines. So you make sure they are all based on the Australian standard. That is in another lesson, not now. Annotation lines are lines that you draw for dimensioning of the object. And viewport is where you export your drawing from model space to paper space. Profile is the parameter of the object, the line, and also here the line styles are here. Dash lines and line, point, line. Center lines, dash lines are for hidden lines. You have to define all this, and perhaps there is a way to import these ones. Nothing more important than this. And the colors, you can choose a color by clicking on color and choose a color for each line you are going to draw. Then it says the design director, new layers are created using the design director. Objects are drawn onto the current layer shown by the check symbol. That is, a check symbol is here. A color, that is color, and pen style. There's a pen style that is here, and different dimension, different pen types, like 0.1. I can choose the profile to be 1 millimeter as thick. Annotations to be 0.1 or 0.2 for annotations and drawing dimensions. Color styles, pen styles can be assigned to layers. Layers can only be deleted when there are no objects in the graphics. editor. Currently residing on that letter. Objects drawn on a particular layer can be universally selected using edit. Here you go, edit, select by, and then layer tool. So select by layer. So this is another way you deal with the layer problem, that says that objects on a locked layer, layers can be locked. This is a lock for the this column. These layers can be locked. So when you lock, for example, this line, it never show up. Objects on a locked layer shown by the padlock symbol are displayed in the graphics editor but cannot be accessed for modification. So if you are sure that one line is the final dimension and you don't want to do any modification on it, you can lock it, that you cannot accidentally change it. When a layer is switched off, shown by the eye symbol, this is the eye symbol, objects on this layer are not displayed in the graphics editor. Care should be taken when moving objects associated to this layer. Layers can be grouped into a specific category using layer filters. Layer filters are also here on the left hand side. These are, if you click on these ones, layer filters come. Yes, like space, work, plane, view, camera, and this. Now here can be grouped. So we say if we go to layers from here, you see layer filters. There is layer filters. Layers can be grouped into a specific categories using layer filters. Then after the layers that were important, I'm going to talk, that was a design director line and modify line length. How do you change the line of something? For example, I draw a line here, draw a single line. Says define a start of a point, try a single line like this. So if I have a line like this, I want to extend it, make it longer. How do I do this? You go to modify line length. Here is line length under modify, and then the status bar tells you click next to the segment to change its length. So click on this and then says click next to the segment to change its length. So click on this and then maybe I should not draw with this. I choose another layer. Which layer I'm going to draw is a profile. Click on this, then I come back and say draw a single line. Says draw a single line at the angle with 0 locked, and draw a single line like this one. Right, disappeared. So I draw a line, single line. See, this line is drawn parallel to x-axis because the angle of it is 0. So I go here, and then I want to go to the top view, so make it a straight. There's a line. I draw a line, another line, single line here, they're here. Now it is a straight. Now I want to extend this one. I go to modify line length and look at the status bar. Click next to the segment. I click next to the segment and says extended. See, I can even shorten it or lengthen it, extend it. This was now this is one thing that was line length is important. Now I go and tell you about the status bar. The status bar is here at the base of the, let me read it for you, over the definition of the status bar. The status bar is found by options and desktop. So you go to the options, here options and desktop. Here is talking about the status bar. You can tick into it under Workspace and activate the status bar. If you don't activate it, you don't get this writing at the bottom. It says click next to the segment to change its length. So therefore here is the place where you activate this one. And when you tick it, you see all these things. And then it says go out of it. So it was options and desktop. The status bar, this is the area, this status bar, this is the area where an instruction is provided to the user in response to a specific tools. For example, when the circle tool is activated, sorry about the sun, is a nuisance. I cannot, too much sun in my eyes. Now, this is the status bar. This is the area where an instruction is provided. I put my mouse on it to the user in response to a specific tools. For example, when the circle tool is activated, the user is prompted in the status bar to define the center point of the circle. So this is where you get the instruction. Status bar was finished. Now I explained about the polyline and these things. Now I go to the isometric views. Isometric views and these things, I use this a lot, but I never explained it properly. So let me explaining these orange boxes and these blue boxes that we used it a lot in the last 3 sessions. Work planes and views. When moving between a 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional workspace, the workspace is a useful tool for recognizing the plane in which the sketch and model are drawn. Similarly, the sketch and model are best viewed from an isometric viewpoint. So if I click on this icon here, show and hide work plane, you will see the work plane is showing up. And if I click on isometric view, you see this dash line, it's like a trapezium here, is a work plane. Similarly, the sketch and model are best viewed from an isometric viewpoint when extruding objects to create a 3-dimensional solid. So therefore, isometric view, when I clicked it, this shape came. If I click this bottom one, that is work plan, it shows a different one, 2-dimensional. Now, user coordinate system. We go to the options and we go to preferences. A page called program setup. Here there is 2 coordinate system icons, show users coordinate system, show world coordinate system. World coordinate system is it says when drawing in either 2D or 3D model space, The coordinate system represents the way in which entities are drawn and viewed in plan and elevation type drawings. The icon of the user coordinate system aligns itself to the current work plane. See this, if you use this one, a student 2D template that I'm using now, it has ticked user coordinate system. Therefore, it is correct. It says the icon of the user coordinate system align itself to the current work plane. Means this x-axis is parallel to this, and this y-axis is parallel to this. So this is a work plane, and the coordinate system that is a user coordinate system is parallel to these ones. The icon of the world coordinate system. So if I change it to world coordinate system, we say options, preferences. If I change it to show world coordinates, I tick this one and untick the show coordinate and say OK. See, the X and Y left the work plane. It's not there. It's not part of that. It can be anything. So therefore the icon changes. So let's put it back. Options, preferences, show user coordinate system, and take off that and OK. So it is now user coordinate. Otherwise this one will move in this corner. So the icon of the world coordinate system align itself only to the current view. So if we have a top view, that world coordinate system aligns itself to the current view. With other views is not working well. To assist with the visualization of the coordinate system, work planes are used. This red one is a work plane. The work plane is represented by a red broken line, a square, which will be displayed in relation to the current user coordinate system and adapts to each viewpoint. The work plane responds in accordance with the user coordinate system and always lie parallel to the XY plane of the user defined coordinate system, with the z-axis lying in a perpendicular direction to the work plane. This tool displays and conceals the work plane in the graphics editor. If you want to display the work plane or hide it, you should go on this icon on the top and click on it. And if you don't have these parts, I will show you how to adjust your toolbars to get those ones. We will reach to that section. There is a lot of ways when you go to view, visual style, and click on wireframe. Wireframe is when all the lines are showing, hidden lines and profile lines all are showing. If you click on view, visual style and hidden line, you will see that the hidden lines that are not showing in a three-dimensional they are not showing anymore. The best thing is to do when you are working, put everything on wireframe when you are drawing. Now the material property. When you want to go to the material property, you go to tools, you go to palettes, and you go to materials. Here, these are the material property that here is for mechanical engineers, and for other people also exist. It depends on